Good morning, everybody. It's so good to see you today. Hey, let's start out by watching a video.
Good morning, this is Miss Tracy. I'm sharing today my baby turkeys and baby chickens that are really, really cute. I hope you enjoy them.
I will make good choices, solve problems, and show respect. What day is it? Today is Friday. What was yesterday? Yesterday was Thursday. What will tomorrow be? Tomorrow will be Saturday. What is the date today? The date is May 29th, 2020, or 5-29-2020. What time is it? Look at a clock in your home to see what time it is. What is the weather like? Let's see. Beautiful blue skies. Supposed to be in the 80s today. Wow, it's gonna be hot. How are you feeling today? Are you feeling happy, sad, mad, tired, silly, or worried? It's time to get ready to learn. It's chime time. Please listen to the chime and give me a thumbs up when you can no longer hear it. It's time for the breathing ball. Get ready for stretches. It's time for PE with Mrs. Summers.
Do you see that red mat? You know what it is? It's just a yoga mat, or it could be a towel or anything that you fold up and place on the ground. Are you ready to do the hokey pokey? All right, if you don't know it, you will now. Join me. Put your right foot in, put your right foot out, put your right foot in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Put your left foot in, put your left foot out, put your left foot in, and you shake it all about. Do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. And put your right hand in, put your right hand out, put your right hand in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Left hand. Left hand in, put your left hand out, put your left hand in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's That's what it's all about. Hip, put your right hip in, put your right hip out, put your right hip in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Left hip, put your left hip in, put your left hip out, put your left hip in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Head, put your head in, put your head out, put your head in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Backside, put your backside in, put your backside out, put your backside in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Put your whole self in, put your whole self in, put your whole self out, put your whole self in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Bye, you guys. Hope you had fun with that one.
It's time to learn.
Hi guys, it's Miss Tina. I'm wearing a pig nose just like Miss Rachel taught us, and I hope you guys took time to make it. And I have to say, Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on his farm he had a pig, E-I-E-I-O, with an oink oink here and an oink oink there, here and oink there, oink everywhere, and oink oink. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. The things I do for you kids, really. All right, we're gonna make another craft. And so you need to go to your project bag and get all your goodies. You should have paper plates and a foam paintbrush, pink paint, and some googly eyes. The other things that you're gonna need that we didn't send home this week, but you have at home, are your glue stick, some scissors, and this. Yours is gonna look a little different, but water paint, okay? And with that, you're also gonna need a cup of water, not to drink out of, but to wash our brushes out of, just like Miss Rachel taught us. Okay, so go gather those things and put this on pause, and I'll see you back here in just a second. Here we go. We're going to make a pig twirler today. Don't worry if you don't know what that is, because I didn't know what it was before I saw the little pattern for it, but it's gonna be fun. So what you wanna do is get your pink paint, and you want 2 paper plates. And we're gonna start with this one. Do you guys see that? Look at that cute little heart. Okay, so we're just gonna paint our plate all the way around. We're gonna get the whole thing pink. And sometimes it's tricky to get these little pieces right in here. And certainly it's tricky to get the edge without getting it on your fingers. So super important that you have some newspaper or even a scratch piece of paper, some old homework or something that you're done with, to put under it. Haha. That way you can just paint right over the edges, just like this. And you're gonna do this for 2 paper plates, and then we're gonna have to take some time to let it dry because it's paint, and we're gonna be working with scissors and a marker in a little bit. So we wanna be able to use those things without getting paint on them. So we need to let the paint dry all the way. So do this same thing all the way around with 2 plates. And then when you're all done with that, put this on pause while you're doing that. And then when it's all dry, turn the video back on. And then we're gonna finish by going to the next. Finish our twirlers by going to the next step. Isn't it fun to paint? Okay, get that done. Now we are at the point where we are going to make a twirl out of one paper plate at a time. So this part is really important, and ask for help if you need it. And use scissors that aren't going to hurt you if you get them close to your skin. Remember when I cut myself a couple weeks ago? Thank goodness I'm all healed, but it did hurt. This next part, we're going to cut a spiral cut. Spiral means goes around and around and around. So watch while I do it. You start from the outside and you go kind of to the inside of the bumpy parts. See the bumpy parts and then where they end? Actually, you can kind of see it on this side better. See the bumpy parts and then when they end? We're gonna go inside there and we're just gonna keep going around until we get a smaller circle inside of our paper plate, around and around and around. Get help on this part if you think you need it, because it's a little tricky. And we're gonna stop right about there. So this is what mine looks like. I started down here with my scissors. I went around once and then twice and kind of ended right there. You see that? In fact, I might make this one a little bit deeper cut. Keep going. And then, so far this is what mine looks like. Here it is again. You start with one cut. You go around your paper plate once. See, this would be once because you started here. And then go second time, and now you're to here, and you just loop in, okay? See if you can do that and get some help if you think you need it. Here's Wilbur with a COVID-friendly mask, and he has a joke for you. What's that you say? I don't know, Wilbur. How do pigs write secret messages? With invisible oink? Good one. Now we are working on our second plate, and it's super important that you follow these instructions because we're going to use the whole plate. So we're going to go in with one cut, okay? And you can probably, again, see it better on this side. See where the circle begins? You can kind of see it all the way around. The circle begins after these bumpy places. We are going to cut that part out. So I'll do it this way. Actually, I can do it this way. Let's do it this way so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going just a little bit inside where that circle is, and I'm going to cut the circle in the best circle I can. And it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm not perfect and you're not perfect, and that's perfectly okay. And our pigs don't have to be perfect, they're just gonna be perfectly unique. Okay, so we have cut a hole, and this is what it looks like on the other side, and bam! I know you don't see it yet, but this is a pig face. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, set that aside, is we are going to make 4 trotters. Tell me if you think you know what a trotter is before I tell you. I'll give you a hint. We're making 4. 1. I just am putting this on top of the one I've already cut on top of this so they can be about the same size. 2. Make a little pattern. Here's your hint. There are not just 3, but there are 4. What are there 4 of on a pig? Not eyeballs, not tails, 4 trotters. Trotters are going to be their feet. And right now, I guess this could pass for a pig's foot, right? But what I'm going to do is make little tiny notches in them first. And the notches are going to look a little bit like baby mountains. Baby mountains. One on this side and one on this side. See the baby mountains? Kind of looks like a mountain. It also looks like the letter M. So do that on all 4 and then come back to me. Now we have 4 trotters or hooves. That's what they're called on pigs. We're also going to set those aside right near our pig face that we just cut out. Okay, we're still using this and we have a few more things to cut out of it, so be careful about this. The next thing we need are 2, what? Eyes? No, we're going to use googly eyes for that. We need 2 mouths? No. We need 2 ears. Okay, so the ears, let's just go ahead and cut 1. Use the same size. And 2. Now, it's up to you how you want to make your pig ear look. Do not worry if it's not a perfectly shaped ear because, again, nobody's perfect and it doesn't have to be perfect. But my idea is to do kind of a notch. And you know what I think I'm going to make mine look like? A Nike swoosh. You guys know what a Nike swoosh is? So I'm going to do this. And then that. Can you see the Nike swish? Whoosh. And then for the top of the ear, I think I'm just going to curve it a little. So this is what mine looks like. That's going to be on the left side. And this one is going to be on the right side. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the 2 sides, match the bumpy parts, bumpy, so they line up like this. Flip it over, and if we want them to match, we just cut the same line. They don't have to match though. Maybe your pig has a different expression and he's using his ears to express himself and they look different than this. Whatever you want to do is going to be perfect. Those are my ears. All right, practice on that and then come back and meet me right here with all your supplies. Here we have 4 hooves, a couple of ears for a pig, a face, and we still are using this from earlier, our second paper plate. We need 2 more things. One is going to be a nose, and a pig nose is going to go on this. So let's measure and say we want it to be about this big. As big as you want, as small as you want. And you just kind of want to flatten this piece of paper out. And if we look at Miss Rachel's sample from earlier this week, it looks like pig noses or snouts are kind of like circles. So you make a circle right about like this. And then it's gonna go on here, but you can't really see it if it goes like that. So we're gonna give it a little bit of a lift. All right, work with me on this one. Last thing we're cutting from the second paper plate is something kind of like this. I'm making something that's kind of like a rectangle. See that? And then I'm gonna fold one side like this. Turn it around and fold the second side like this, okay? Keep that with all your other pieces. We have one more thing to do before we start assembling it, and that is color these hooves so they look like hooves. Now, if you guys don't have a black Sharpie marker like this, then you can use black paint if you have some. And mine is pretty worn out from the watercolors, but that's what I'm gonna try to use. At my house, I actually have some black paint in a container like this, and maybe you guys do too. So use whatever you have. It could be a crayon, colored pencil, black marker, black water paint, whatever it is that you find, and we're gonna color the hooves. So it looks like this will work all right. Take your time to do that on all four. Put this on pause while you're doing it, and then come back and meet me with your finished hooves. Okie dokie, this is what you should have on hand, and don't throw out that last piece here because we're gonna keep it for one last thing that we're gonna cut. And what's that? What's that? You say you have another funny thing to tell me? Okay, go ahead. What's your joke? What do you get when you cross a dinosaur with a pig? I don't know, Wilbur. What do you get when you cross a dinosaur with a pig? What's that? Silly. Jurassic pork. You're really funny. That little Wilbur, he just keeps pigging around. Okay, so you have all of your finished pieces, and we're gonna make one more thing out of this very last piece, so don't toss it. Okay, let's start with the face. I'm gonna move my hooves because they don't go on a face. What does go on a face? Well, this is where you guys get to find your googly eyes. So everybody should have some googly eyes. My pig is going to have 2 eyes. That's usually about right. And he's gonna have a nose and he's gonna have some ears. So now is when you get your glue. And the first thing we're going to do is try to raise up this nose. Oops, one thing I forgot. I can't believe I forgot it. What was on the snout that Miss Rachel showed us? Well, snout nose, or nostrils, of course. What is this we got here? There we go. There we go. Now that pig can breathe. There we go. All right, so we have this little piece, and it's got 3 edges. All right, I am going to glue one of the edges here to my pig's nose. Oh, and guess what? I don't even need it to be that long. I just need it to be shorter, so let's cut that off. Okay, so far we have this. One side is glued. Make sense? Now, we're not gonna glue the middle side. We're gonna glue the opposite side with a little bit of glue like this. And we're gonna take that opposite side and press down on our pig face. So this is what it's gonna look like. Okay, see if you guys can do that. Get help if you need it. Now it's time for the ears. I think I'm gonna have my ears go right like this. Right like that. And so if you want to, you can tape them on the back if you have a piece of tape. Or what I'm gonna do is put some glue. I'm gonna glue this one right here. I'm seeing them coming together. It's looking like a pig to me. And put it on this side this time. Glue that down. Press hard and give it a second to dry before you pick it up and move it. Look at our nose. All right, and then I'm gonna give it a couple of cute little eyeballs. I thought these guys had stickers on the back, but they don't. So I'm gonna do one eyeball here. You put yours wherever you want them to be. And one eyeball here. Oops, got a little glue on that, but that's okay, it'll dry. So far so good. I see a pig. How about you guys? Now my pig is super happy, so I'm gonna give my pig a big smile. And he's kind of got a crooked smile, so he's gonna go sideways, kind of like, I don't know, kind of like a smirk. That's what my pig looks like. You guys work on yours, and then we're gonna work on the body. Next step, we have hooves that we are gonna put on our piggo, and it's not gonna make sense for now that they all go in front, but it will make sense in a second. So here's your little twirler. And you basically have 3 levels. You have the top level here, the middle level, and then the bottom level. Okay? So on the bottom level, I want you to take 2 hooves and put some glue on them and put them somewhere on the bottom. 1. Oops, and that is number 2. Okay, I'm gonna spread it out. I want mine to be way over here. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. Now on the middle level, not the top one, but the middle level, I want you to take your hooves, same thing. Oops, I'm gonna do it in the camera. Same thing. Put some glue on there. I'm gonna do 1 here. And then last one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Running out of glue again. And I'm gonna put that one way over here. So far it looks like all the hooves are in front, but it's gonna make sense in a second because don't forget, we're making a twirler. Now, let's move that aside. We still have our piggy face. And you know, if you look at your neighbor's ear, that there's the inside of the ear. And if you want to, you can just do a little squiggly line. Can you see that even? Here's a little squiggly line. That's gonna look like an inside of an ear. I don't even know how to make an inside of a pig's ear, but that was what mine's gonna look like. Take your pig face, and we're going to the top level now. So here's level 1, level 2, level 3 has our trotters on there already. We're going to take the top and we're going to glue our piggo down to that. Okay, and the way that looks on the other side is like this. 3rd shelf. So I am going to cover this whole 3rd shelf level, that little part right there, because I want to give him enough that he will stick. And I'm going to put my piggo face right on there, and then I'm going to let it dry. All right, it's important to let all of your your glue dry. So I'm going to move little pig over to this side. And we have one last piece of our second paper plate. And this one I'm just gonna make a little thinner. Not as wide. I wonder if you guys can guess what this last piece is for. Let's see, we've got eyes, a nose, some ears, some hooves, a body. What else does a pig need? Carmen, what else does a pig need?
Tail.
A tail, right. So here's how we're gonna make a curly Q tail. Have you guys ever seen a pig's tail? You know how they curl up? We're gonna take your pen, you can use a pencil, whatever you have, just use that. And we're gonna start winding it around. Just go around and around and around and around. Might need to go more around this way. I don't know. Do it any which way you can. We're gonna make that into its own little spiral. There you go. Looks like a little piggy tail, right? And it might need to be a little bit thinner even, but I kind of like it. There you go, piggy tail. Okay, so once everything dries, we're gonna take our little piggy tail, and it's gonna be funny because it's gonna be part white and part pink. Mine is gonna look like this, and I'm gonna tape it to, actually not tape it, maybe I will tape it, flip this part over, and I'm gonna tape it just above one of the hooves, a little bit of tape, and we're gonna take one last thing on here, and then our pig twirler is going to be done. Go find your yarn that we sent home the very first week. Boy, I tell you, we have used a lot of that yarn, haven't we? We're gonna come all the way back over to this head, and we're going to take a piece of yarn and attach that so we can hang it. Oh goodness, mine is all tangled up. Give me a second. Final touch. I happen to have pink yarn, but that's just by chance. I'm gonna bend Mr. Pig's head in front like he's taking a bow because he's so awesome. And I'm gonna tape just like so. And make sure it's a decent enough length in case you want to hang it somewhere. And so far so good. I'm gonna flip the camera around so you can see how this is actually gonna hang. Alrighty guys, look what I have here. If you didn't know before, now you know. This is a pig twirler. Look at him. And when you blow on him, he's gonna spin around. Maybe we should have painted the bottom of the plate too. And if you look, he's got a couple of ears. He's got a snout. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 hooves. A fun little wiggly tail. And you can hang him somewhere where the wind will catch him. And he's gonna twirl and spin for you. And that is a piggy twirler. What's that? One last joke? One last joke, okay. Carmen.
What?
What do you call a pig thief?
What?
A hamburglar. Bye for now, friends.
Should I or shouldn't I? You work quietly on an assignment the teacher has just passed out. Should I or shouldn't I? You should. It's always good to work quietly in class. What is the joke of the day?
What did one wall say to the other wall? I'll meet you at the corner.
Have an awesome weekend and I'll see you on Monday.